I know what you're thinking. But Allan, aren't you kind of being a giant buzzkill? This season has a lot of really popular stuff in it, and you've reviewed about 20 anime now with resulting opinions ranging from mediocre at best to total dog shit. Isn't there anything you liked? And my answer to that is, of course not. The world of anime seems as much on a downward spiral as I am on any given day, and I can't fathom how so many people enjoy so much of it. I sometimes read what other people think about anime, and I generally leave the experience wondering how I feel so completely different. Obviously, these are just my opinions, and I'm ultimately exaggerating. Yes, I hated a lot of the anime this season, and a lot of them are popular, but after watching all of them, I'm pleased to say there were more that I liked than I thought. I was off to a rough start, seeing as I picked all the fantasy/isekai type garbage as my jumping off point in a ruthless act of masochism, but I have about 10 anime left on this list, so let's do this. My top 10 anime this season in no particular order, sort of. Before I talk about Idoly Pride, this is one of the anime I think I should give fair warning about. There's a twist in the first episode, and if you're interested in watching this one, I would recommend watching the episode before you watch this. With that in mind, Idoly Pride is definitely a unique spin on what is even more a typical idol show than Gekko Idol. The plot follows Mana Nagase, who enlists her high school friend and possible love interest Kohei Makino to work at an idol agency as a part-time manager while she works her way up the ladder of success. The first episode shows us all of it. We see Mana grow immensely popular in the idol scene as a solo artist, and behind her through it all is Makino, who eventually becomes a full-time manager at the label after he graduates. Their rise to fame as a whole idol show's lifespan placed into a neat montage, but it isn't long-lived. Neither is Mana. Idoly Pride is the Up of idol anime, and if you haven't seen Pixar's Up yet, you might not get that, so maybe go watch that too. But this intro hits very similar emotional beats. Mana is killed in a tragic car accident, leaving Makino without his star performer and cherished childhood friend. I won't lie to you, this show can be fucking sad, and it's only after this point that we truly realize that this is Makino's story, not Mana's, as he traverses mourning her while working as a successful manager. Of course, the story doesn't end there. This is where the twist kind of hurts less in a way, because Makino soon realizes he's haunted by Mana's spirit. She follows him around, only detected by him, and talks to him about his work still. It kind of reduces the impact of her death for the viewer, I feel, but the show does make up for this shortly. And even still, the reality is that while Mana can still contact Makino, it's really bittersweet. She cannot continue a career that would surely have lasted several years more. She cannot grow with her friend and continue their relationship beyond where it left off. Enter Kotono Nagase, Mana's younger sister. She isn't as cheery, nor does she seem as talented, however, she is driven to fill Mana's shoes. It's here that we continue that train of sadness, because we're told of Kotono's final interactions with Mana, about how she showed resentment for Mana's career taking away from their time together. In her childish ignorance, she would never have guessed she would never see her again, and with a guilty conscience aims to take up the mantle in honor of her sister. She meets the airheaded Sakura, who walks into Kotono's audition and gets in as well due to impressively singing Mana's popular song with a similar sound and spirit to Mana herself. This is a fantastic tie-in between characters. This girl, who challenges Kotono's preconceived notions about what it means to be an idol, one that works all the time like Kotono remembers Mana doing, just enjoys singing and reminds everyone, Kotono included, of Mana by singing the very recognizable song Mana sang to the sister who lacks the heart Mana had, yet strives to work as hard. The show did a good job of making us remember Mana's hit for this moment. It starts to rapidly give you this sense of the world being alive and intertwined, as well as showing us just how influential Mana's music was. These two girls are a good combination to take Mana's place in the narrative while creating their own special imprints on the idol world. Kotono doesn't want to work in a group as Mana was solo, but she reluctantly accepts for now. We're introduced to the others in the group who have some pretty nice designs, especially this one with cool Harajuku hair. With this kind of characterization, I think the show deserves more attention than it currently appears to be getting. It's emotional, it's thoughtful, and the characters have distinct things that drive them. Also, I haven't actually watched it yet, but I was briefly spoiled on a later episode by seeing a clip where they do a dance sequence and it actually looks like it's animated incredibly. My biggest complaint would probably be that despite all of this, it's kind of slow so far. It spends a little too much time drawing out some of the discussion about these plot points, and I think it would benefit a lot from using a little runtime for something else. It probably doesn't have to be much to be noticeably smoother. Idoly Pride may not be as comforting as other slice-of-life idol shows where events never become too harsh, but I think it can still achieve that if given more time, and it may come out the other side more meaningful along the way because of its bravado, showing us these more intense realities too.
いつも通り待ってるよあの場所で待ってるよ約束